So far, so good. 3 innings behind us. Roll it into the top of the 4th inning alongside Joe Simpson. Ben Ingram here with you. It's a 4-0 lead for the Braves. Home runs from Riley, Olson, and Arcia to this point. Here's Kyle Stowers. We'll take the ball a little bit low and inside. Stowers batting 5th in Skip Schumacher's order. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Pitch on the way from Charlie. Nothing wrong with that. Good fastball right down the pike for a strike. Left-handed hitting Stowers. Batting .268 on the year.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. More people depend on WGNS for local news that matters. We're your local news leader. News Radio WGNS. From News Radio WGNS, this is Rutherford County's most complete election coverage. Here's Brian Barrett.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Rutherford County Election Commission. We are here with the first totals of the evening in, and we are on radio at WGNSradio.com as well as on Big G TV this evening. So you can listen, watch. We've got you covered in a number of places. We have, first of all, just gotten the voting early and 353 absentee votes.
As we're going,
so we will take a look first of all here
to follow
at some of the information that we have been able to gather. First of all, let me switch this over so you can actually see as we're going here, and one more tab
race
here to
for
follow.
Tennessee House
give you the numbers
District 13,
as they have just been
this is between Robert Stevens and Jamie Averwater.
So first of all,
with Stevens, the incumbent,
we will go with
receiving 1,331
race
votes
for Tennessee House District 13,
and 41 for
and this
Averwater.
Is between Robert
so
Stevens and Jamie Averwater.
About a 71%
with Stevens, the incumbent, receiving
just under 28%,
1,331 votes in early voting,
leading
to 541 for Averwater. So that's about a 90. About a 71% to just under 28% difference between the two, with Stevens leading there.
I know there's been a lot of
in Tennessee House District 34, Tim Rudd with a lead of 63% to Tucker Markham's 36%. These were thought to be maybe two tight races. I know there's been a lot of money spent and a lot of things said in those particular races. Now this is Rutherford County totals now. Rutherford County totals in early voting and absentee. That's what you're seeing here. Okay.
Here
as
locally,
we
to
continue we'll look at some of the national races here in a moment. United States Senate
our way on down
and
to
House,
Road Board,
for instance.
6.
But let's keep it
a tight
here
race
locally, and we're going to just kind of focus in on the contested races here.
Elaine Williams has 965
making our way on down
votes
to Road Board, Zone 6. This is a tight race between Elaine Williams and Paul Johnson.
Very close
right now. Elaine Williams has 965 votes to 899 for Paul Johnson.
With a
so
lead of
that's a 66 vote difference.
29%.
Very close there. In the race for School Board Zone 2. School Board Zone 2, in that particular race, it is Stan Vaught with a lead of 61% to 29%.
With 337.
So that is
John
what we
Duncan
see there.
with 94.
Let me give you the numbers on that. Stan Vaught with 692 votes in early
Zone
voting.
3, Caleb
and
Tidwell,
Robert C. Brooks
is leading
with 337.
Tiffany Fee,
John Duncan with 94.
Votes,
He's taken
758
of
votes.
the vote.
That's
in School Board Zone 3, Caleb Tidwell, the Republican, is leading Democrat Tiffany Fee,
for Murfreesboro City Council,
1,348 votes to 758 votes.
In the City
That's
Council race,
a 59%.
I'm sorry, the top 3 in the City Council race with 5 running.
Tidwell
will be
for Murfreesboro City Council
into office, and this
the top
is tight
4
as a tick
in the City Council race.
5-way horse race. It looks like.
I'm sorry, the top 3
right
in the
now,
City Council
Sean
race
Wright
with 5 running
3,187 votes.
Voted
That's
into
23%.
office, and this
Bill
is tight
Shacklet
as a
currently
tick.
in second.
It is a 5-way horse race. It looks like. Right now, Sean Wright
Kurt Wade
has 3,187 votes.
2,681
That's 23%.
votes. That's 19%.
Bill Shacklett currently in second.
And Matt Harriman
with 2,963. That's 21% of the vote.
18%
Kurt Wade
of the vote.
with
We're going to have to
2,681 votes.
And
That's
very
19%
close behind that is
of the
Kelly
vote.
Northcutt with
Matt Harriman
2,443
with
votes.
2,520 votes. That's 18%.
Let's do
of the
a little
vote.
quick
We're going to have
math
to
here.
get the decimals going in here.
To use my calculator,
and very
so
close
we'll
behind that
bear
is
with
Kelly
me.
Northcutt with 2,443 votes. That's 17%.
Sean Wright currently has the most votes.
Let's do a little quick
Northcutt
math here.
2,443
I'm going to have to use my calculator,
votes.
so we'll just
That's
bear
a
with me.
difference of
3,187 votes is Sean Wright.
In the race
currently
for
has
City
the most votes.
That is pretty amazing.
Northcutt with 2,443
City
votes.
School Board race.
That's a difference
Campbell,
of 744 votes separating
chair
1 through 5
the school
in the
board
race for City Council.
Is the
that
top
is
vote
pretty
getter
amazing.
with 4,121
Looking at the
votes. That's
Murfreesboro
28%.
City School Board race,
Jeanette
Butch
Price
Campbell,
is
the
in second.
current
by
chair
just
of the school
votes.
board for the city, is the top vote getter with 4,121 votes. That's 28%.
In third,
Jeanette Price
35-18,
is in
24%
second
of the vote.
by
and Jimmy
just
Leo Richardson
a few
in fourth,
votes. 3,588, 24.5% of the vote.
So
David Settles
as well, the
in
top
third,
three vote getters,
35-18, 24% of the vote.
Board.
And
Now,
Jimmy
this
Leo
is
Richardson
early voting,
in fourth,
and this is
32-78,
absentee.
22%
A total
of the
public
vote. So
count
that is tight as well. The top three vote getters, and there are 4 running for school board. Now, this is early voting,
5.8%,
and this
voter
is
turnout so far.
absentee.
Now that's
a total
just so
public
far,
count
and that's just with the
of
early voting and absentee.
1,200
okay?
I'm
so
sorry,
that's where we are right now. You're listening
12,660,
to coverage
5.8% voter turnout.
20.
A total public count of 12,660, 5.8% voter turnout so far.
And those
24.
sponsors
I'm Brian Barrett at the Rutherford early voting and absentee. Okay, so that's where we are right now. You're listening to coverage of Campaign 2024. I'm Brian Barrett at the Rutherford County Election Commission. Bart Walker will be joining with some interviews throughout the evening here as well, and we want to thank our sponsors for our coverage. And those sponsors include our friends at Toots Good Food and Fun, Wilson Bank and Trust, McCabe Vision Center, and Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home. Let's hear from them. We'll be back. We'll go over those early voting totals for you. When we return, election coverage continues live from the Rutherford County Election Commission.
Here's Dr. Craig McCabe at McCabe Vision Center.
It's easy just to start off of taking the macular degeneration vitamins and going on the Mediterranean diet. Those two things each cause a significant decrease in the risk of you going from the dry form of macular degeneration to the severe form, which is the wet form of macular degeneration.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive, just off Memorial, behind SunTrust Bank.
Hi, this is Wade Hayes of Toots Restaurants, and I'm here with my son Nick and my grandson Jack.
Good food and fun. Remember your first time at Toots? Maybe it was a first date, you went out with a college friend, or you were celebrating after a big game. Come out and try one of our locations today, and you'll be sure to have a great time.
Toots. Good food and fun.
At Toots Restaurants, our quality has not changed.
Our portions have not changed.
Our products have not changed.
Good food and fun.
Greetings, friends. This is Lenny Farmer with the Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home in Murfreesboro. If you ever had to deal with the final arrangements of a loved one, funerals are both emotional and financial. You can easily be drained both ways when you least expect it. I can help you in both of these areas by showing you the positive side of pre-arranging. Locking in your costs for the rest of your life will truly relieve some emotional stress at that time. Call me, won't you, at 615-893-2422. Let's talk.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank and Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee.
As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank and Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
From News Radio WGNS, this is Rutherford County's most complete election coverage. Here's Brian Barrett.
Welcome back to the Rutherford County Election Commission, our coverage of the August 1st elections here this evening. We've got the early voting totals and gave those to you a second ago. We'll go over them once again here just a second. I would make one quick correction. I misspoke when I mentioned that the race for Murfreesboro City School Board was a vote for the top three. There are four, and of course there are four running. Butch Campbell, Jeanette Price, Jimmy Leo Richardson, and David. Where the race is really, really tight and very interesting right is now. The race for Murfreesboro
and
City
again,
Council.
744 votes
that
separate.
Is top three. And there are five running.
And who's in fifth?
And let's take a look at some of those numbers.
Sean Wright, he is an incumbent.
Right now.
He now has 3,184
and again, 744 votes separate.
Votes, or 23%.
Who's in first?
Bill Shacklet
and
with
who's in
2,963
that is how
votes.
tight
That's
this thing is.
21.3%.
Sean Wright, he
Kurt
is an
Wade,
incumbent. He now has
3,181 votes. That's
19.3 votes, or 23%.
So
Bill Shacklet with 2,963 votes. That's 21.3%. Kurt Wade, incumbent. 2,681 votes. That's 19.3%.
That is 18%.
So the three incumbents running are ahead of the two newcomers, but not by much. 2,520 votes for Matt Harriman. That is 18%.
20 for
of
Harriman,
the vote
that
there.
Is a difference of 161
so let's see.
Votes.
26.
So yes, it is a very, very tight race. Going on there for City Council. And not to be outdone because just a few votes
for Harriman, that is a difference of 161 votes.
Kelly Northcutt.
So, yes,
and so
it is a very, very tight race
2,520
going on there for City
Harriman,
Council. And not to be outdone because just a few votes
for
behind
Northcutt,
Harriman
that's a difference of 77
is Kelly
votes.
Northcutt. And
so
let me give you that
difference. Maybe the race to watch
2,520 votes for Harriman.
We went over some of the other races that there have been
for Northcutt. That's a difference of 77 votes.
For State
this
House.
Is going to be maybe the race to watch.
A look at that,
here this
the
evening.
Incumbents are doing
we went
very
over
well
some of the other races that there have been lots of interest
incumbent
in.
Robert Stevens
has
1,331 votes, or about
State
71%.
And
to Jamie
taking a look at
Aberwater's
that, the incumbents are doing very well in those races.
You may recall
in House District 13, incumbent Robert Stevens has 1,331 votes, or about 71%. To Jamie Aberwater's 28%, or 541 votes. You may recall Aberwater is current Murfreesboro City Councilwoman. In State House District number 34, that's where Tim Rudd has been representing for many years. Tim Rudd with 1,359 votes, that's 63%.
So far,
to Tucker Markham's 784 votes, which is 36%.
And see if we have any statewide
so
numbers
there
yet
you go. We'll look at some of those races. We did not go over the statewide races this evening. So far, we haven't.
Nothing there.
And I wanted to kind of give you a peek at those totals and see if we have any statewide numbers yet from
here. So you're seeing me
the Secretary of State's office. And so far,
United States
nothing
House
there.
of Representatives,
so,
District 4, Scott Desjardins, the Republican incumbent,
get a refresher.
has statewide
pop up here, so you're seeing
district
scroll as we go.
74.8% of the vote, 13
United States
063.
House of Representatives,
Davis,
District 4, Scott Desjardins, the Republican incumbent.
So that is about 16% of the vote. In Rutherford County, Desjardins
74.8% of the vote,
just under his average across the district.
Thomas Davis
in Rutherford County, 5,829 votes.
So
to
that
Davis
is about 16% of the vote. In Rutherford County,
Desjardins
is just under his average
unopposed,
across the
so
district.
Those two will face
in
off
Rutherford
each
County,
other.
5,829 votes to Davis's 1,369.
This Republican race, it looks like it could
on
be
the
incumbent
Democratic
Scott
side,
Desjardins will face off
Isabel Broderick is running unopposed, so those two will face off against each other.
And I need to pull this up, and I'll do that here in just a second.
This Republican race, it looks like it could be incumbent Scott Desjardins will face off against.
Right now in Rutherford County, Marsha Blackburn has
Isabel
a commanding
Broderick.
88% lead.
Okay, so
in that,
and I need to pull this up, and I'll do that here in just a second. We'll take another quick break and look at the United States Senate. But
on the Democratic
right now in
side
Rutherford County,
United
Marsha Blackburn
Senate,
has a
looks like
commanding
Gloria
88% lead. In that, and we're just kind of focusing on the races that are contested.
That's the early voting. We've got more information
on the Democratic side.
Keeping
for
a very
United
close
States
eye on
Senate,
this race
like
for Murfreesboro
Johnson,
City Council.
Has
5 people running for 3 seats and 744 votes.
County.
After early
That's
voting,
the early voting.
Separate
We've got more
Sean
information
Wright,
to
who
come.
is currently the top
Keeping a
vote
very
getter,
close eye on this race for
Kelly
Murfreesboro
Northcutt,
City Council.
Who is in
5
fifth
people
place.
running
It is a
for
very,
3
very
seats
close
and
race for
744 votes.
City Council.
After early voting,
More on that.
separate
got,
Sean
State
Wright,
Representative,
who is currently the top vote getter,
Senator Dawn
and
White.
Kelly Northcutt,
Flashback to the olden
who
days,
is
right?
in
She'll be
fifth place. It is a
in
very,
just a
very
moment,
close
as well
race
as our
for
election
3
coverage
seats on the
continues here
Murfreesboro
on
City
News
Council.
Radio,
More on that.
WGNS,
We've
from the
got
Rutherford County
State Representative
Election Commission.
Kelly Northcutt, who is in fifth place. It is a very, very close race for 3 seats on the Murfreesboro City Council. More on that. We've got State Senator Dawn White. Flashback to the olden days, right? She'll be joining in just a moment, as well as our election coverage continues here on News Radio, WGNS, from the Rutherford County Election Commission, and our coverage is brought to you by Toots Good Food and Fun, Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home, Wilson Bank and Trust, and McCabe Vision Center.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank and Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee. As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank and Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Hey, I'm Jack Hayes, here with my dad Nick and my granddad Pops.
In 1985, when we opened our doors, we had one kids item on the menu. It was a hot dog. But today we have one of the most popular kids items in Rutherford County. What's your favorite item, Jack?
Chicken fingers, curly fries, and our homemade barbecue sauce.
At Toots Restaurants, our quality has not changed.
Our portions have not changed.
Our products have not changed.
Toots.
Dr. Craig McCabe.
Brighten up your face and make yourself look 10 years younger. Call McCabe Vision Center.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive, just off Memorial, behind SunTrust Bank.
Get rid of brown splotches, red marks on our face, as well as fine lines and wrinkles. Look 10 years younger. Call McCabe Vision Center.
On Heritage Park Drive, behind SunTrust Bank.
From News Radio WGNS, this is Rutherford County's most complete election coverage. Here's Brian Barrett.
Welcome back to the Rutherford County Election Commission. Brian Barrett here. Bart Walker is with us as well, and we're going to hear from State Senator Dawn White here in just moments. Our coverage brought to you in part by McCabe Vision Center, Wilson Bank and Trust, Toots Good Food and Fun, and Jennings Evening. And now we may go back and forth in and out to coverage of the Braves as well. It just depends on how quickly the numbers come in here this evening, so we'll see how that works out for us. And giving you a look at the current totals. This is early voting now. This is early voting information that you can actually see if you're watching on Big G TV, WGNS Radio. You can see it right there on the homepage, or like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our YouTube and Facebook channels. Our very own Bart Walker standing by just across the way and has State Senator Dawn White joining.
State Senator Dawn White is with us now, and we're going to talk about some of the things that you're talking with constituents about.
Absolutely. During this time when we're out of session, tell people all the time at a local coffee shop, I'll be happy to meet you. So I'm having a lot of hot chocolate and coffee these days. But, we're listening to what they want in January when the session comes up, and bill file deadline will be probably the 1st of February. So we're just now getting to a place where we're looking at different suggestions that constituents have submitted, talked to me about, and want to see as a bills, and, getting with legal, see how it can be drafted, see if it's feasible, see if it's doable. And so that's a lot of what we're doing this summer, all of the senators and reps from Rutherford County.
Senator White, are there any particular issues that keep coming up noticeably heavy?
Of course, the school choice, parent choice will be a big topic in January. I think Governor Lee...
Heavy?
Of course, the school choice, parent choice will be a big topic in January. I think Governor Lee's reintroducing the Freedom Scholarship bill. So that's on a lot of people's mind. Of course, growth in Rutherford County is a big issue that we're dealing with, and how we can fund growth, and we're looking at that, of course, like we do every session. And then, a lot of constituents just call us that something that impacts their family, if they have a special needs child, if they have, just moved here and from another state and said, our state did this really, really well. Why is Tennessee not doing it? And so, I'm meeting with a lot of constituents, just getting a lot of ideas of what would be good for Tennessee, its economy, the children of Tennessee, the parents of Tennessee, and just really what would be feasible to do for next session.
At the radio station, we're getting a lot of calls asking about the Forensic Medical Center. I think there's 6 in Tennessee. Does it look as if we might be able to get one here?
Of course, that's the county. It will have to be funded by the county and the county commission. So it's really up to them. That's not a state level. There may be a couple of grants out there they can, but the majority of the money would have to come from the commission and the county to fund a forensic center.
I guess I was thinking more about the state funding and the grants that would be available. Would the state be behind it enough to say, we'll go ahead and fund that?
Of course, we're pushing for it. The delegation is pushing for it. But, grants are very specific, and they have, different purposes. And can we find the right grant to fit for the forensic center to be built here in Rutherford County?
The other issue that we hear a lot about here, and I'm sure you hear it too, is the roadways. Some of the state highways are narrow. Of course, some of the city and county highways are narrow too, but the ones that we can't do anything about are the state ones. Thompson Lane, Bradyville Pike, I believe, falls in that category.
They buy the right-of-ways, by the time, environmental studies happen and everything that has to happen, and then it'll take 3 years to actually build it. So I know Thompson Lane's been in the plans for years. We're still pushing for that. Of course, that's on my side of town where I live, so I see that day in and day out, the congestion. There needs to at least be a turn lane, when you're turning on Haynes, when you're turning on Riverview, people go in the bike lane. It's very, very dangerous. I know Bradyville Pike is also in my district, and it's very, very dangerous. It needs to be widened, and so I'm pushing for that, and hopefully TDOT will be able to speed up the process.
Bradyville Pike, I think, was talked about much in the news many years ago, 10 years ago. A young girl was killed on her bicycle there, and they were proclaiming that one of the most dangerous roadways. Still no changes.
Right, and I agree with that. It needs to have shoulders. It needs to have where people can walk down it, can ride their bikes down it and feel safe. It needs to be widened, and so I'm fighting for that as well.
And I guess Jefferson Pike is the same, its cousin, basically.
But Jefferson Pike is getting widened. It took years for it to. By the time they did all the right-of-ways and all the environmental studies and everything that goes with a TDOT road project, it took years, but Jefferson Pike is being widened as we speak.
Now, I don't know where this would fall because it's partially city road, but it's going to go over some land and ultimately connect with I-840. You know where we're going, Cherry Lane.
Right. Of course, the state and the cities have to work closely together. I think they've got a great relationship, and I think they are working together to provide the best thing for Rutherford County. It just takes time, unfortunately.
And time waits for no one, I guess I say.
Exactly. We all want it tomorrow, but unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. But we're still fighting. The whole delegation's fighting for more roads and more infrastructure to come to Rutherford County because we're booming. We're the fastest growing county in the state, and so we know we've got a lot of infrastructure needs, and so we're fighting day in and day out to bring those to Rutherford County.
What about other improvements that could make the traffic flow better? Can the state help in any of those ways?
I met with the commissioner of TDOT this week, actually, and I-24 is the first one to get choice lanes. And so they are planning on 2 lanes going into Nashville, 2 lanes coming out. There will be choice lanes. The other 4 lanes will be free, of course, and no tolls or no payment, but there will be 2, and hopefully by 2032 these will be up and running, and each will have 6 lanes going in and 6 lanes coming out for people that have to commute to Nashville. And as someone that commutes to Nashville going to session, I understand it's an hour and a half in the morning you have to plan. You usually can make it an hour and 10, but you never know if there's going to be rain or stalled vehicle or, an accident. So you really have to plan an hour and a half. And so I believe the choice lanes will help the traffic situation go into 24.
Now, the choice lanes, those are the ones being used also now in Georgia. Is that right?
A lot of states have, of course, the difference between ours is there's a choice. Again, if you want to go in the 2 paid lanes, you can. The 4 that are currently there will still be free and no charge to the people commuting back and forth to Nashville.
Now, before we leave you, I don't want to cut you off early or anything. Are there any other issues that are out there that are on your mind and you're hoping to do something about it when the General Assembly leave you? I don't want to cut you off early or anything. Are there any other issues that are out there that are on your mind and you're hoping to do something about it when the General Assembly reconvenes in January?
Of course, being Vice Chair of Judiciary, always looking at criminal justice reform, what we can do about crime, of course, solve crime, and criminal justice reform will also be a topic that we look at in January.
Looking forward to hearing what happens in the General Assembly and going back to having all of our Rutherford County delegation with us on the radio on the last Friday of each month.
Yes.
That's been a real treasure that all of you have done.
Oh, yes, and thank you for WGNS. I don't think you realize what a treasure you are to our community. You bring us local news. You have people on there telling about community events, and it's just so beneficial for someone that lives here in Rutherford County, especially all the new people that's moving in. If they could just listen a day on WGNS and know what's going on in our community, and you have, community leaders on there talking about their nonprofits and their organizations, and it's just a gem to have WGNS and the Walker family here in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County.
Thank you so much, Dawn. Dawn White, our state senator, visiting with us today here at the Election Commission as we're getting the results of another vote coming in. Rutherford County votes
here on our election coverage
issues.
Here on News Radio.
Thank you so much.
WGNS. So glad that you are
getting the results of another vote coming in. Rutherford County votes on different issues. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Bart. Bart with State Senator Dawn White joining us here on our election coverage here on News Radio. WGNS. So glad that you are along with us here this evening as we broadcast from the Election Commission. So still just the early votes and absentee right now, okay? So there's been no update. We'll get that, and as soon as we do, you'll be the first to know. I do want to tell you that we are watching some very close races. I know that there has been a lot of attention on races for the state house in District 13 and 14. I'm sorry, District 13 and 34. In the District 13 race with Robert Stevens and Jamie Aberwater, Murfreesboro City Councilwoman, Stevens has about 71% of the vote, 70.95 to Aberwater's 28.8. That's 1,331 votes for Stevens, 541 for Aberwater, and that is early voting absentee. in District 34. Of course, Stevens, the incumbent, looking for his second term in office in that new district that came around with the census that came after that, and the and the census totals. Okay, so District 34, incumbent Tim Rudd. 60. Look at the state house races that are very close. The other race that is Wright, really, really close. It's going to be interesting to see how this finishes.
In Murfreesboro.
Because
Sean Wright
currently let me just pull it up on the screen for those of you who are watching on Big G TV.
In second place
Sean
is Bill
Wright,
Shacklet, 2963.
Top three for City Council in Murfreesboro.
Kurt Wade,
Sean Wright currently has 3,100.
Matt Harriman, 2520.
3,187
Kelly Northcutt
votes.
with 2443.
In second place is Bill Shacklet, 2963.
From Sean Wright's
in third,
total
Kurt Wade,
2681. Everybody sandwiched
in between. Fourth, Matt Harriman,
2520.
Kelly Northcutt with 2443.
Kurt Wade
there
is
a
in
difference
third.
of 744 votes from Sean Wright's total
Harriman. So
to Kelly Northcutt's total.
Very, very
everybody
close
sandwiched
in the
between.
race for Murfreesboro
Harriman's
City Council.
only handle 43. There is a difference of 744 votes from Sean Wright's total to Kelly Northcutt's total, and everybody sandwiched in between. Harriman's only a handful of votes behind Kurt Wade. Kurt Wade is in third. Northcutt, 70 votes behind Harriman. So it is very, very close in the race for Murfreesboro City Council. So those are the races that we are watching very, very closely here. When we get some updated numbers, we'll have some of the vote centers starting to come in here soon. Currently, let's see, 1,260 voted early or submitted absentee. That's about 5.8% voter turnout so far. How many registered voters? 215,232 here in Rutherford County. Okay, hang in with us. We will continue our coverage here from the Rutherford County Election Commission in just a moment, and more interviews with Barber and their way here to the election. Our sponsors, Toots Good Food and Fun, McKay Convention Center. Coverage continues in just a moment.
Hello friends, Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home. More than I can count, we have taken care of families who were totally caught off guard with the passing of a loved one. There are so many details to tie up. It really can be overwhelming. Again, more than I can count are the comments from families who have pre-planned and pre-funded their or their loved one's funeral, saying, "I'm so thankful we took care of this ahead of time. It would have been a financial hardship had we not. Let me help you pre-plan. Call me at 615-893-2422.
Here's Dr. Craig McCabe at McCabe Vision Center.
We now have good treatments for glaucoma that can get you off of your eye drops.
Dr. Craig McCabe, the eye doctor you hear on the radio.
We have treatments for the skin of your face. So not only do we want you to see young, we want you to look younger too and get rid of a lot of that sun damage.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive, just off Memorial, behind SunTrust Bank.
Toots, good food and fun.
Hi, this is Wade Hayes of Toots Restaurants. When I go places, people like to tell me their favorite menu item. One of the most popular is our catfish basket. Delicious fillets of catfish, fried golden brown and served over curly fries, or any side item for that matter. They're on our menu daily and on special every single Friday. At Toots Restaurants, our quality has not changed.
Our portions have not changed.
Our products have not changed.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee. As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank & Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
From News Radio WGNS, this is Rutherford County's most complete election coverage. Here's Brian Barrett.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Rutherford County Election Commission offices. We're at One Public Square here in Murfreesboro, just right across from the Rutherford County Courthouse. And there was some news this week on WGNS about this building. For those of you who've been here for a while, this is the old Goldstein's building. And Rutherford County Mayor Joe Carr made news on the action line this Wednesday that the county is looking at possibly relocating this office and other offices here in the Limeball Library in the future, as the library looks to maybe have some satellite locations, maybe in the Siegel Blackman. I can't remember the other community now right off the top of my head, but that was some interesting news that we heard this week. Well, you're here to listen or watch the election returns here this evening. So I will tell you there's nothing new as of this particular moment in terms of any additional vote centers other than the early voting totals that we've been giving here for a few. We're getting close to the 8 o'clock
right now
to the back,
and if you are
put into the computer and then
on Big G
out
TV,
here to
you can
us,
see these totals as
so
we go
can
through,
record and you can
we'll
see.
spend a little time here.
With that being said, let's look at the early voting. This is what we know as of right now.
So for United States Senate
are
in Rutherford County, for the Republican
on Big G TV, you can see these totals as we go through.
Marsha Blackburn,
and we'll spend a little time here
of the vote to Tress
seeing if we maybe can get
11%,
some additional returns in. So for United States Senate in Rutherford County for the Republican
and looking
ticket,
at the
statewide Marsha
numbers,
Blackburn with 88% of the vote.
Marsha
Tress
Blackburn
Whitman's
with a lead
11%,
of almost 90
7305 to 945.
Looks like she will be facing off against Gloria Johnson in November.
At the statewide
Johnson
numbers,
with 65.
It is Marsha Blackburn with a lead of almost 90 to 10. Okay.
Scott Desjardins with a commanding lead.
Looks like she will be facing off against Gloria Johnson
incumbent
in November.
For United
Johnson
States House of Representatives
65,
District 4 in Tennessee.
911.
He has
or almost 77% of the vote there.
Almost 74% of the vote.
Scott Desjardins with a commanding lead
Victoria
as the
Broderick
incumbent for United States House of Representatives from District 4 in Tennessee.
Locally to some of the local races that we've been keeping an eye on.
Almost
Tennessee
74%
House
of the
District
vote,
13.
and will face off
Robert
against
Stevens
Victoria Broderick.
Leads Jamie Aberwater by
November.
almost 71%.
Back
to
here
28%.
locally to some of the local races that we've been keeping an eye on. Tennessee
votes.
House
Again,
District 13.
And
Robert Stevens
about 350 or so absentee.
Leads Jamie Aberwater by almost 71% to 28%.
That's Stevens.
That's Stevens with 1,331 votes. Again, this is just early voting and
Tennessee
about
House District 34
or so
the
absentee.
incumbent Tim Rudd.
Jamie Aberwater with
over challenger Tucker Markham,
votes.
63% to 36%.
71%.
1,359 for Rudd.
28.
Markham with 784.
In
and
Tennessee
again,
House
we're just
District
looking
34,
at the contested races.
the incumbent Tim
Mike
Rudd
Sparks
has a lead over challenger Tucker Markham,
63%
36%.
of the vote.
1,359 for Rudd. Markham with 784
for him.
And again, we're just looking at the contested races. Mike Sparks
he will be facing Lewis
uncontested,
Mata, who
receiving
is the Democrat,
97.7% of the vote,
as did all of those on the Democratic side. So that's kind of really why we're focusing on just the contested races this evening in the State House.
Looks like he will be facing Lewis Mata,
moving on
who
down,
is the Democrat.
Want to take a look at the district
unopposed,
executive
as did
committeeman.
all of those
we
on the Democratic side. So that's kind of really why we're focusing on just the contested races this evening in the State House.
Eric Huth with 334 votes.
Moving on down, we want to take a look at the district executive committeeman. We haven't touched on this just yet. Matt Ferry with 965 votes, or 73%. Eric Huth with 334
there
votes.
There were 71 write-ins, but he ran unopposed. 10,000
Terry Fan,
and
who
23
is
votes for
currently
Terry Fan,
circuit court judge,
and that is by far and away the most votes that I've seen for anyone,
of the
and that's
vote.
early voting. He's
there were
received
71 write-ins, but he ran
votes
unopposed.
out of the
10,623 votes for Terry Phan.
Pretty amazing there.
And that is by far and away the most votes that I've seen for anyone. That's early voting. He's received 10,023 votes.
This is close. 965 votes for Elaine Williams, 51.6%.
Pretty amazing there.
Paul Johnson, 899.
As we move on down, there is a contested road board race
School Board
between
Zone
Elaine
2.
Williams and Paul
Stan
Johnson. And this is close. 965 votes for Elaine Williams, 51.6%.
And
Paul Johnson, 899, or 48%
John Duncan,
of the vote.
8% of the vote.
For School Board Zone 2, Stan Vaught
just trying to reiterate,
challenger
early voting
Robert Brooks,
and absentee.
692 votes to 300.
People from all the different vote centers bringing in boxes left and right
to
now.
29%.
So
John Duncan
sure
with
we'll
8% of the vote, 94 votes total.
Election returns here momentarily.
Again, just
they're
trying
really
to reiterate,
here at
early
the
voting
Commission, get
and absentee.
Really
now we've
School
got
Board Zone 3, Caleb
people
Tidwell,
from all the different vote
Republican,
centers bringing in boxes left and right now.
59% of the vote.
I'm sure we'll get a big dump of
to Democratic
election
challenger
returns
Tiffany
here
Fee,
momentarily, because they're really fast here at the election commission. Get things done really quick. School Board Zone 3, Caleb Tidwell, Republican. He's the incumbent, has received 59% of the vote, 1,348. To Democratic challenger Tiffany Fee, 758. That's 33.4%. And independent Lori Johnson.
The Braves have been here since 1981. WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, your Atlanta Braves station.
This evening, so that was School Board Zone 3. I think you heard all of that.
And of course, that reminds us it's time for the legal ID on radio. So there you go.
And the race for City Council in Murfreesboro.
We'll get back to that once we get all the numbers here to you this evening. So that was School Board Zone 3. I think you heard all of that. We've been keeping an eye on the two House races and the race for City Council in Murfreesboro, because this one is really close.
There are 5 running for
I've
3
talked about this.
seats 744
votes
currently
separate the top vote getter as of now, Sean Wright, and the person in 5th, Kelly Northcutt.
Okay.
Everybody else is in between. There are 5 running for 3 seats on the Murfreesboro City Council. Currently, the 3
and
incumbents have a lead here.
Okay. So Sean Wright.
Let's take a look at the numbers. Did want to just
Sean
Wright,
3,187 votes. That's 23%. Bill Shacklet, 2,963, 21%.
Okay.
Kurt
so,
Wade,
Sean Wright,
third right now.
Just ignore that. I was
2681 or 19%.
Sean Wright, 3,187 votes. That's 23%.
Bill Shacklet, Matt Harriman,
2,963,
2,520 votes.
Kurt
that's
Wade,
18%.
Third right now.
And Kelly Northcutt,
2681
with
19%.
2,443 votes.
Just 161 votes behind Kurt Wade is Matt Harriman.
That is just 70
Matt
votes
Harriman has 2,520 votes. That's 18%.
Five-way race.
And Kelly Northcutt
City Council
with 2,443 votes. That's
17.6% votes in early voting.
And that is just 70 votes behind Harriman.
So I have
so again, in
really
this 5-way race
here that this one is
for
going to be
Murfreesboro City Council
this evening.
for 3 spots.
Okay, that
just 744
is the early voting.
votes
We've
in
given
early
this to
voting.
you a couple of times.
Separate 1
and
through 5.
we do have links to this,
I have,
by the way. Everything
really
that you
big
can
feeling
see
here that this one is going to be a nail biter this evening. Okay, that is the early voting. We've given this to you a couple of times.
By the way, on your very own phone.
We do have links to this, by the way. Everything that you
WGNSradio.com.
can see. A nail biter this evening. Okay, that is the early voting. We've given this to you a couple of times. And we do have links to this, by the way. Everything that you can see if you're watching on Big G TV. You can see as I'm reading the numbers, I'm scrolling the page here. You can see those links, by the way, on your very own phone at WGNSradio.com if you would like to do that. Those links right there at the very top, it says election coverage. Tap on that and you'll see the link where you can look at all of the information that we are giving you. Okay. Stay tuned. More from the Rutherford County Election Commission when we return. More interviews with Bart Walker as well, as he is talking to some of the movers and shakers here at the Rutherford County Election Commission. It's 8:02. We've been at this for about 45 minutes or so. Cars are coming in left and right. We're going to get some big returns, I think, coming in here in just a few. So hang with us. You're listening to coverage of Campaign 2024. From News Radio WGNS.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee. As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank & Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Hey, I'm Jack Hayes, here with my dad Nick and my granddad Pops.
In 1985, when we opened our doors, we had one kids item on the menu. It was a hot dog. But today, we have one of the most popular kids items in Rutherford County. What's your favorite item, Jack?
Chicken fingers, curly fries, and our homemade barbecue sauce.
At Toots Restaurants, our quality has not changed.
Our portions have not changed.
Our products have not changed.
Toots.
From News Radio WGNS, this is Rutherford County's most complete election coverage. Here's Brian Barrett.
Welcome back, and as we continue our election coverage here from News Radio WGNS, Keith Bratcher joining. So, Bart, take it away.
We're talking now with Keith Bratcher, the Road Board Zone 2. And how long have you held this position?
I've been on there 22 years, 5 terms. This will be my 6th term.
Now, we often vote for people because they do things that we like. We also vote for people because we want to keep them in office. And that's the good way to judge whether or not a person has done a good job. How many people opposed you?
I've been opposed every time.
This time?
Yeah, up until this time, absolutely. You're talking about when I've ran? Yes, sir. I've had opposition every time up until this time.
So this time?
No opposition.
Well, that says something.
That says something, absolutely. Yeah, I got this opportunity, Bart, of course, I'm a lifelong resident of Rutherford County, and with my area I represent, Milton, Lascassas, Walker Hill, Leanna area, so I just want to thank the voters of those areas and the communities that still have trust in me to represent them and continue to put me back in office. I appreciate it very much.
Now, over those years, things have changed. What has changed the most, and what is your biggest concern right now? What's your biggest issue that you're thinking, man, I've got to overcome that, or I've got to do this, or the constituents really need this?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is I think everybody's been experiencing in Rutherford County is the growth. And one of the projects when I very first got elected in 2002 was a lot of people in my area were concerned about Jefferson Pike. Jefferson Pike is a state route, but in my position, we work well with state representatives and stuff in our area. So that's been an ongoing project in which right now, we did part of that, from Smyrna all the way to 840 Bridge. So hopefully get the funding and carry on with that. That's probably been one of the biggest projects and one of the things I sought after when I very first got elected. But, my job as a road board member, we look over the budget of the County Highway Department, support him. Greg Brooks is the superintendent, and him and his staff, they do a very good job every day. I brag on them all the time of the work that they do is keeping the roads in Rutherford County looking really good and right-of-ways and ditches. So, I tell people all the time, if you want to know what's going on at the highway department, just drive around. And, you can see we have really nice roads in Rutherford County.
Now, I guess one of the big issues with Jefferson Pike, it's one of those old roads. It was one of the first roads back when we didn't have vehicles like we do now, and we certainly didn't have as many of them. And as a result, Jefferson Pike had no curbs. I mean, once you were off the road, you were down in an embankment. Same with Bradyville Pike, and Halls Hill Pike was the same way. So we keep hearing, I'm going to fix it, and now they're fixing Jefferson Pike. what kind of a safety, I mean, that's going to make people live a lot longer and have fewer wrecks.
Yes, sir. Jefferson Pike, and I've worked with Mike Sparks, Representative Sparks on that. But that, he's been real adamant of Jefferson Pike. He represents a lot of that area. Yeah, widening that and having those curb, and shoulders built up, that does, because there has been a lot of fatalities on Jefferson Pike. And I know even our county roads, we purchased a machine, we're really concentrating on roads out in the county that have very little shoulder. And I know Greg Brooks and his crew has been really taking time and going out and trying to build these curbs up, curbs and shoulders up, because, like you say, as Rutherford County has grown, these smaller, narrow roads, have a lot more traffic. So once you get off that roadway to the ditch, you're gone. So anyway, we are being attentive to that. We know that's an issue, especially with all the growth in Rutherford County. So we have taken steps and purchased some equipment, and it takes time.
Now, since you're working on the Jefferson Pike expansion and making it more safe, one of the other issues in that area has been the Middle Point landfill. And I've noticed, and you might comment on this, I've noticed that the big trucks that are bringing waste to the landfill had been using, in the past, Jefferson Pike. We kept hearing trucks rolled over and down in the ditch on Jefferson Pike. They are now off of that more and using Thompson Lane. Maybe the road's shoulders are safer, but certainly more traffic on Thompson Lane and still 2 lanes. And it's making a bottleneck of traffic in the area.
Yes, sir. There was a lot of trucks that were using Jefferson Pike, and back some time ago, we met with the officials, myself and Mike Sparks. Some of us met with the officials at the landfill, and we tried to curb them from using Jefferson Pike so much. And a lot of times they are coming in on 452, the Speedway exit, coming down 231, and coming to the landfill. So that did alleviate a lot of that traffic off of Jefferson Pike. So, and then of course, had issues with mud and stuff being on the road, Jefferson Pike. And when we spoke to the officials, they did install a tire washing machine. So when those trucks leave that landfill, washes all the mud off. So they have a street sweeper. So they have tried to be attentive to the needs on Jefferson Pike when it comes to that area.
Very good. Well, we thank you.
All the mud off, so they have a street sweeper. So they have tried to be attentive to the needs on Jefferson Pike when it comes to that area.
Very good. Well, we thank you for taking time to talk with us, and also thank you for serving the community.
Thank you so much, Bart. Yes.
Keith Bratcher, Road Commissioner, with us this evening here on WGNS. We're following the election. We're here at the Election Commission. Brian, back over to you.
Thank you, Bart. Appreciate that report. And Keith has been doing this a long time, public servant. And I asked him a minute ago about I knew that he was related to former Murfreesboro, longtime Murfreesboro City Councilman Chris Bratcher, was vice mayor for a time, and he said that they're not brothers, they're cousins. So their fathers were brothers. How about that? So, small world. We do have some new information in, okay? So we now have 8 of the 30 vote centers, along with early voting and absentee. So this is a total of 2,202 from those 8 precincts. Does that make sense? So 2,202 are added to the totals here that we see from the 8 vote centers. Trying to see if the numbers have updated online to show you there, and we'll just read them together.
Numbers.
So this is with 300
out of 30 vote centers.
53
for United States Senate,
votes.
Marsha Blackburn,
88%
of the votes.
Here we go with the new vote
to Tress Whitman's
numbers.
945.
This is again with 8
Scott
out of 30
Desjardins
vote
with
centers.
71%
for United States Senate, Marsha Blackburn, 88% of the votes, 7,305.
Robert Stevens now has a 71% lead over Jamie
Scott
Aberwater's 28%.
with 71%
That's about where those numbers were
his Republican primary.
Earlier, as a matter of
fact.
fact.
Here is some new information.
Here.
Robert Stevens now has a 71% lead over Jamie Aberwater's 28%.
None of those vote
That's about where those
count
numbers
toward
were
their totals.
Earlier, as a matter of
And
fact.
the same for
And
the Rudd-Markham race
here.
in District 34.
That's exactly the same
numbers,
as it was. So there were
reported
none of those
there.
vote centers count toward their totals.
Just make sure that I'm seeing.
And the same for the Rudd-Markham race
Well,
in
it
District
does say
34.
public and absentee, but these numbers are
Same
not
numbers reported
the current
in
numbers
there.
that you're actually seeing here. So
Just
let me
make
just
sure
try
that
to
I'm
refresh
seeing.
one more time. And those are
Well,
not.
it does say
so
public
I'm just have to
and absentee,
tell
but
them.
these reported in there. Let me just make sure that I'm seeing. Well, it does say public and absentee, but these numbers are not the current numbers that you're actually seeing here. So let me just try to refresh one more time. And those are not. So I'm just going to have to tell them to you, okay? So let's go to District 13. Let me give you the new numbers again. Robert Stevens, there were a couple of hundred votes here. Robert Stevens lead 70.25 to 29.5%. 1436 for Stevens, 604 for Aberwater. That's in District 13. District 34, Rudd with 65% of the vote. That is up from the early voting numbers. 1733 for Rudd, 771 for Markham. Let's. I'm going to try to just give you the highlights here of the races that are contested, the big races that we're watching here. They're all big, right? If you're running, they're all big, but the contested races. Road Board Zone 6, Elaine Williams has a lead of 51.92%, or 1,079 votes, to Paul Johnson's 933 votes. So 1079 from 993 is 86. That race is close, right? So School Board Zone 2, Stan Vaught, who is running to replace, or all of these guys are running to replace Coy Young, who has been a longtime school board member. Stan Vaught with about 60.6% of the vote, 819 votes to Robert Brooks' 400 votes, or 29.63%. As we look at School Board Zone 3, Caleb Tidwell with 58.9%, so 59% of the vote. 1652 for Tidwell. Democratic challenger Tiffany Fee, 956. That's 34% of the vote. Lori Johnson has garnered 193 votes, or 6.8%. Now, to the race for Murfreesboro City Council. And I have to look closely here because this is really, really tight. Okay? And try to give you your 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Sean Wright has 3,839 votes. That's 22.7%. He is increasing his lead just a bit. So Sean Wright, 38-39. Currently, now in second, is Bill Shacklett, 35-21. He was in second before. 20.8% of the vote. Kurt Wade has 19.5% of the total vote, 3,298. So 3,298. The three incumbents right now currently are in the lead for the top three spots in City Council. It's Matt Harriman right now in the fourth place position with 3,084. So if we subtract the 32.98 of Wade from the 3,084 of Harriman, that's 214 votes. That has widened a bit since early voting as well. What has gotten closer is Matt Harriman's 3,084 votes and the 3,069 for Kelly Northcutt, that's only a difference of 15 votes. And once again, 38-39 for Sean Wright and 30-69 for Northcutt. That's only a difference of 770 votes. It was 774 before with the early voting. Now, the numbers that I gave you are with 8 vote centers of the 30 in. We'll be getting updates as we go through the evening, but that's what we have right now. Let me see if we've been able to update here in the online numbers. Just give you a quick peek. And looks like that has updated. Okay, so we'll go over those again in a moment. And for those of you who are watching on Big G TV, we'll be able to let you see those as we go through those contested races. You're listening to live election coverage, August 1st, 2024. The next one is the big one, November 5th, right? Just 90-some-odd days away from today. Our election coverage on WGNS Radio, FM 101.9 and 1450 on AM in Murfreesboro, 100.5 in Smyrna, WGNSradio.com. That's where you get all of the audio streaming there. You can actually see from the Election Commission, waving at you, as we continue here as well. Again, I'll put those numbers up for you when we come back after a short break from the folks who make this broadcast possible. Toots Good Food and Fun, Wilson Bank and Trust, Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home, along with our friends at McCabe Vision Center. Coverage continues in just a moment.
Hello, this is Lenny Farmer with Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home. Often when a man or woman finish pre-planning their funerals with me, I hear, "We should have done this 10 years ago." Or, "I thought about doing this years ago, but just never got around to it." Seems that we often put off the inevitable for ourselves. As one wise pastor put it, it's never too late to do what's right. Why not mark down on your calendar to call me to talk about your funeral needs at 615-893-2422. It's never too late.
At McCabe Vision Center, we have added a full cosmetic line to the services that we provide.
Dr. Craig McCabe.
We provide laser treatments to get rid of those little brown splotches, surface blood vessels, as well as fine lines and wrinkles.
McCabe Vision Center.
Make yourself look 10 years younger. Call McCabe Vision Center.
On Heritage Park Drive, behind SunTrust Bank.
We break in with traffic, news, and weather bulletins anytime. Good Neighbor Talk is your 24/7 connection. WGNS, AM, FM, and online. From News Radio WGNS, this is Rutherford County's most complete election coverage. Here's Brian Barrett.
Good evening and welcome back from the Rutherford County Election Commission, One Public Square. Right across the street from the Rutherford County Election Commission. I'm sorry, from the Rutherford County Courthouse. We are in the Election Commission. The vote tallies from the various vote centers continue to come in. There's a stream of cars outside here. They're dropping off the boxes. Those are being tallied in the back. And looks like we may actually get you some new numbers here coming up in just a moment. And let me just see if those are going to be numbers that are updated that I can actually show you as well. It doesn't appear, so we will get that new update here for you in just a couple of moments. All right, there's a little bit of lag time from when we get the paper readout to what actually goes up on the website. So not much.
Shall we?
That's
let's
still
take a look
showing 8
here.
of the 30.
If you're watching,
so
just kind
we'll
of
go with those numbers.
Touch on
again,
the contested
I'm
races.
just speculating that we
and
may
if
have
you're watching on Big
G
GTV,
so let's go over them, shall we?
scroll through
let's
here.
take a look here.
State House District
watching,
13, Robert Stevens, 70% of the vote, 1436.
Contested
Jamie
races.
Aberwater, 604.
And if you're watching on Big GTV, you can see as we scroll through here.
State House race for District 13,
Robert Stevens, 70% of the vote, 1436. Jamie Aberwater, 604, 29%.
Right now, both of the incumbents, Stevens has
State House race for District 13 and 34 were hotly contested.
And Tim Rudd, 65%
on the Republican side here. And
of course, there's some.
Right now, both of the incumbents, Stevens has 70 to almost 30 lead, and
Rudd with
Tim Rudd
1,733 votes, Markham with
34%.
909.
Of course, there's some
that's
percentage,
look there.
65.37.
Some Democratic competition coming up in November, but
Rudd with 1,733 votes, Markham with 909.
Same for assessor property
there.
And
they will face some Democratic competition coming up
this evening from Keith
November, but
Michael
all
Shirley,
the Democrats ran
running unopposed
uncontested.
For Zone 3, Zone
Same
5,
for
Michael
assessor
Anderson
property,
for the road board, Zone
and,
6,
road superintendent, road board Zone 2. We heard earlier this evening from Keith Ratcher, Michael Shirley.
1,079 votes
for Zone 3, Zone 5, Michael Anderson for the road board. Zone 6 is a contested race.
For school board,
1,079 votes to Paul Johnson's 993.
That's
51.9% to 47.8% of the vote.
Robert
for
Brooks,
school board
400
in
votes,
Zone 2,
which is 29.63%.
Stan Vaught has 819
and
votes.
John Duncan,
that's 60.6%
That's
of the vote.
8.9% of the vote.
To
in road,
Robert
in
Brooks,
school board Zone 3,
votes,
Caleb Tidwell,
which is 29.63%.
He is the incumbent as a Republican.
And John Duncan
as well, 1,652 votes. That's 58.98%.
In road, in school board Zone 3,
Democrat
Caleb Tidwell,
Tiffany Fee with 965
he is the incumbent
votes,
as a Republican,
and Lori
as
Johnson
well,
with
1,652 votes. That's 58.98%.
For Murfreesboro City Council,
Democrat challenger Tiffany Fee with 965 votes,
currently
34%,
the incumbents
and Lori Johnson with 193 or 6.89%.
Right now, the difference between
for Murfreesboro City Council,
170
five-way race for 3 seats. Currently,
Wright,
the incumbents
top vote getter so far,
are leading,
3,839 votes. It's 22.7%.
Right now, the difference between
and remember,
third and
this is
fourth
early voting,
is
absentee, and 8 of the 30 vote centers.
Some odd
Bill
votes.
Shacklett right now in second.
Sean Wright, the top vote getter so far,
3,839
3,839 votes.
Kurt Wade,
it's 22.7%. And
3,298.
remember, this is early voting, absentee, and 8 of the 30 vote centers.
3,084.
Bill Shacklett right now in second, 35.21. That's 20.8%. Kurt Wade, 3,298. That's 19%, 19.5%. Matt Harriman, 3,084, 18%, 18.26. Kelly Northcutt
we have for you.
with 3,069.
Statewide numbers.
That's 18.1. So those are very close numbers right there.
United States
So
Senate.
that is a look at what we have for you.
Also for
let's kind of look at the
House of
statewide
Representatives
numbers.
in District 4.
And these
Scott
are
Desjardins is going to win
statewide numbers
his
for
district. He has
United
a lead
States
of 73% to 18%.
And also
so Scott Desjardins
for,
will face off against Victoria
House of Representatives
Broderick.
in District 4.
She ran
Scott
unopposed
Desjardins
as
is
a
going to
Democrat.
win
Now for
his district.
The United
He has
States
a
Senate,
lead of
Marsha Blackburn
73%
running
to
for
18%.
re-election. Marsha Blackburn
So Scott
with
Desjardins will face off against Victoria Broderick.
Of the vote
she
statewide.
ran unopposed as
Gloria
a Democrat.
Johnson will
now
challenge
for
her. It does appear. I
the
don't know
United
how
States Senate, Marsha
many
Blackburn
votes are
running
in
for re-election.
Right now, but she's got
Marsha
a
Blackburn
70
with 89.6%
to
21.6% of the vote
lead over
statewide.
Marquita
Gloria
Bradshaw.
Johnson will
Gloria
challenge
Johnson
her. It does
and
appear.
Marsha
I don't know
Blackburn
how
to
many
face
votes
off
are in
against
right now, but
each
she's got
other.
a 70.
All right, we have a big
3% to
update
21.6% lead over
This big
Marquita
update
Bradshaw.
is going to
So
be
Gloria
20
Johnson
of 30
and Marsha Blackburn
precincts
to face off
against
against
It's
each
vote
other.
centers.
All right,
I will,
we have
get
a
that right
big
soon enough.
update to give
So
you here.
this is
big update.
We go
is
from
going
8
to be
to
20 of 30.
Here we go.
Precincts.
We'll start at the top.
Said
Those of
precincts
you
again.
watching,
It's
you can
vote
see
centers.
these numbers
I
as
will
we
get
give
that
them
right
here.
soon
Let's
enough.
look
maybe.
at District 13.
This is
State House.
We go from 8
Robert
to
Stevens,
20.
1,815
Here we go. We'll start
votes.
at the
That's
top.
67%
Those of you
to
watching,
Jamie
you can see these numbers
Aberwater's
as we give them here. Let's
that
look
is
at
32.8%.
District 13. State House.
So far,
Robert
voter
Stevens,
turnout
1,815 votes. That's 67% to Jamie
18,944
Aberwaters, 889.
votes
That is
cast
32.8%.
The
So
public
far,
count here of the 20
voter
of 30
turnout
and
8.8%.
absentee and early voting. That number will go up
with
just a little bit.
18,944
this is going to be a voter
total
turnout of
votes
less
cast
than
so far.
Less than 10% for sure.
The public count here of
so
the 20 of 30
here,
and absentee and early voting. That number will go up just a little bit, but as we've seen, this is going to be a voter turnout of less than
6,284 votes.
Less than 10% for sure.
Out of 20 of those 30.
So we're counting
centers.
here.
All right, District 34 race, we gave that
early
to you as
votes,
well. Incumbent Tim
353 absentee, and
6,284 votes to Tucker Markham's
out of 20 of those 30 vote
That's
centers.
34.9.
All right, District 34 race, we
we'll
gave that to you as
continue
well.
To go down and look
Tim
at our
Rudd,
local races
64.69%.
The next
2,061
one
votes
would
to Tucker Markham's
for Road Board Zone
1,112.
6.
That's 34.9.
This is a very close
we'll
race.
We'll continue to go down and look at our local races
right now
that are contested. The next one would be
Elaine
for
Williams,
Road Board Zone 6.
1,393
this
votes.
is a very close race as it stands right now. We have
challenging her
currently
for this same seat as Paul Johnson.
Elaine Williams,
1,264
1,393
So 129 votes
votes
separate Elaine Williams and Paul Johnson. Williams, again, 1,393
challenging her
or
are running for the same seat as Paul Johnson, 1,264 votes. So 129 votes separate
for
Elaine Williams
Zone
and Paul
2,
Johnson.
This is again
Williams,
20 of 30
again,
vote centers,
1393 or
early voting and absentee.
52.25%
Stan
to
Vaughn,
Johnson's
63.5% of the vote,
or
1,186.
47.4%.
Robert
For
Brooks,
School Board Zone 2, this is again 20 of 30 vote centers, early voting and absentee.
With 151 votes and
63.5% of the vote, 1,186.
School Board Zone 3,
Robert Brooks,
Caleb Tidwell,
27.75%
of the vote,
518 votes, with 151 votes and 8%
the
is
Democratic
John
challenger,
Duncan.
1,237.
School Board Zone 3, Caleb Tidwell, 58.8% of the vote. He is the incumbent, 2,110.
6.69%.
Tiffany Fee, the Democratic
now
challenger,
to the race for Murfreesboro City Council. Again, this is a 5-way race.
Lori Johnson with 240
seats,
votes.
so the 3 top vote getters
6.69%.
will be Murfreesboro.
Now to the
City
race
Councilman,
for Murfreesboro
for
City Council. Again, this is a 5-way race.
Will retain
and
now.
It is for 3 seats. So the 3 top
make
vote
sure
getters
that in a quick view, I give this to you correctly. The 3
City
incumbents are currently leading
for the first time, or
John
the incumbents.
Has garnered
retain.
so far
right
with
now,
20 of 30 vote centers, early voting,
just want to make
absentee.
sure that in a quick view, I give this to you correctly.
That's
the 3 incumbents are currently leading.
Votes.
Sean Wright
in second place
has garnered so far with 20 of 30 vote centers, early voting, absentee. 22.37%. That's 4,634 votes. Currently in second place
that's
is Bill Shacklett with 4,275 or 20.63%.
In
third
place
currently
right now
is Kurt Wade,
is Matt
4,064 votes. That's 16.9 or 19.62%.
Now for
and in fourth place right now is Matt Harriman.
So
no, actually it's Kelly Northcutt. Kelly Northcutt has overtaken Harriman now for
that's actually the number of votes for
the
Harriman.
Fourth place
3,748
there. So
18%.
3,748 votes.
18.7%. Lots of
I did that.
Numbers,
that's actually the number of votes
one
for Harriman.
source has them
3,748 or 18%.
1 through 5.
Northcutt
and
with
this
3888
in,
or 18.7%.
An order of alphabetical.
Lots of
so I'm having
numbers and
find out who's
one source
2,
has
3,
them
4, and 5.
in order of
what I was going to show you is
1 through 5, and this just has them in
748
an order of
votes
alphabetical.
for Harriman.
So I'm having to find out who's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
For Wright,
what I was going to show you is 3,000.
So that number has gone up
748 votes for Harriman.
And between the 4,634
votes
Wade,
for Wright is a difference of 886. So that number has gone up
Northcutt
as well. And between the 4,064 of Kurt Wade,
the third place,
and the
right now Kurt Wade. So
3,888.
What does all of that mean? I'm giving you those numbers so you can see, number one, how close it's been.
That puts
her
her 176 votes behind
1 through 3.
The third place
will be
right now Kurt Wade. So what does all of that mean? I'm giving you those numbers so you can see, number one, how close it's been, and it's been this way all night.
And Kurt Wade.
1 through 3,
the way it looks
will be
right
on
now.
the city
Those
council.
Are the incumbents, by the way.
The fourth and fifth place finishers will not.
Centers.
And right now, it's Sean Wright, followed by Bill Shacklett and Kurt Wade.
So
that
far,
is the way it looks right now.
The
Those
number
are
of
the
votes
incumbents,
cast
by the way.
in
Again,
this
20
August
of
1st
30
election
vote
in
centers.
Rutherford County.
And absentee and election day.
18,944.
So
of
so
the
far,
215,232 registered
the number of
voters.
votes cast in this
8.8%
August 1st election in Rutherford
when we get
County.
30 of 30, we'll know the whole picture, right?
18,944
right now, is the way things are
of
shaping
the
up with only 10 vote centers to go.
215,232 registered voters.
The two state
That's
house
about
races that
8.8%
were
voter
going to be really
turnout.
close.
When we get 30 of 30, we'll know the whole picture, right?
And
of the 215,232 registered voters. That's about 8.8% voter turnout. When we get 30 of 30, we'll know the whole picture, right? But right now is the way things are shaping up with only 10 vote centers to go. The two state house races that were going to be really close are not that close. And the race for city council, well, that looks like the incumbents are going to retain those seats. That's the scene as we have it at the moment. It is just past 8:30, 8:34 as a matter of fact. You're listening to Campaign 2024 coverage on News Radio, WGNS, that is brought to you by some great community businesses here in Rutherford County. Toots Good Food and Fun, Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home, Wilson Bank and Trust, and McCabe Vision Center. And little word about Toots, they have a patty melt on their menu now. That's kind of a special thing they've got. You might want to try it out at Toots Good Food and Fun. More election coverage from the Rutherford County Election Commission continues in a moment.
Hi, this is Wade Hayes of Toots Restaurants. My personal favorite menu item is our Danish baby back ribs. They're fall off the bone tender, very lean, got a delicious homemade sauce we put on it, and there's nobody serving ribs like these anywhere in Middle Tennessee.
Good food and fun.
Toots, good food and fun since 1985.
At Toots Restaurants, our quality has not changed.
Our portions have not changed.
Our products have not changed.
Good food and fun.
This is Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home. Did you know that you can plan your funeral in advance without actually paying for your funeral in advance? In other words, if it's not a convenient time to pay for your funeral, you can still choose your funeral items and we'll file them away for later. Let's consider that together. You make the decisions for yourself, and when that financial window opens up, it becomes an easier decision. Call me at 615-893-2422 and let's plan together.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank and Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee. As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank and Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
From News Radio WGNS, this is Rutherford County's most complete election coverage. Here's Brian Barrett.
Welcome back to the Rutherford County Election Commission. And during that break, Bill just gave me a new set of election returns. So we're going to get right to it here. It's 26 of 30 vote centers. Just 4 remain, okay? 26 of 40 vote centers. So this takes our Election Day and early voting Right to the contested races here that we have been focused on tonight for
Jamie Averwater
State House
Robert
District
Stevens,
13.
2,046
Jamie
votes
Averwater
for Stevens,
in that race. I can let you show my browser here to you so you can see as I'm giving them. Jamie Averwater trailing Robert Stevens, 2,046 votes for Stevens, 67.7% to Averwater's 32% or 968. In the race for State House District 34, Tim Rudd, the incumbent, almost 64% of the vote, 2,136 to Markham's 1,192.
In that race.
The next race would be for Road Board Zone 6, so let's scroll on down there. And this race has been close all night, but Elaine Williams has led all night long in that race.
That did narrow just a bit.
And currently has 1,575 votes
for school board
to Johnson's 1,442, and that is a difference of 133 votes. That did narrow just a bit, but still pretty considerable there. Okay, so for school board Zone 2, Stan Vaught ran in the Republican primary and won that. And he is facing here in the general election Robert C. Brooks and John Duncan.
And Duncan with about 8% of the
Stan
vote.
Vaught currently has almost 61% of the vote, 1469. 741 for Robert C. Brooks, that's 30.5%.
Tiffany Fee,
and Duncan with about 8% of the vote, 198.
That's 34.64%.
School Board Zone 3, Caleb Tidwell.
For Murfreesboro City Council,
2241,
this has been a very close race throughout
Tiffany
the
Fee,
evening.
1323, that's 34.64%.
Kelly Northcutt has now, in the last two,
for Murfreesboro City Council.
Matt
this
Harriman
has been a very close race throughout the
leading
evening.
in this one. Sean Wright with 5,112
Kelly Northcutt
votes.
has now, in the last two, has overtaken
Bill Shacklett,
Matt Harriman for fourth, and still the incumbents leading in this one. Sean Wright with 5,112 votes. That's 22.58%. Bill Shacklett in second place, 4,622 or 20.41%. Kurt Wade in third with 4413, that's 19.49%.
And that's been slowly
and
ticking
Kurt,
up as
by
well.
the way,
the distance between
with his 4413 is
voting.
ahead of Kelly Northcutt's
18.6%. Matt
4218, that's a difference of 195 votes, and that's been slowly ticking up as well.
Again,
the distance
those numbers are with
this election day voting. Northcutt 4218 or 18.6%. Matt Harriman 4154 or 18.35%.
If you're watching on Big GTV, we'll leave those
and again,
scrolling for
those
you
numbers
here
are with 26 of 30, 18.6%. Matt Harriman 4154 or 18.35%. And again, those numbers are with 26 of 30 vote centers reporting in. And those are the votes as we have them now. If you're watching on Big GTV, we'll leave those scrolling for you here in just a few. But right now, we're going to check in with Bart Walker. Bart has been pretty busy out there talking to folks. Toots Good Food and Fun, Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home, Wilson Bank and Trust, and McCabe Vision Center. Let's go back over to Bart.
WGNS continues broadcasting from the Election Commission.
Not much.
And we have the results of the balloting so far, at least up to now. Ransom Jones is with us. He's the chairman of the Election Commission here in Rutherford County. What are your feelings on this? I mean, it's sort of a slow, low turnout.
Well, it's been
He's too cheap to do calendars. Bob Doug does the calendars.
There's no really hot buttons.
Okay.
Out there. There's no real
Everything's set here in
campaigns that were, that enthusiastic and all.
He's good. Staying busy, really busy.
More competitive than others, but overall, it was kind of a typical low-interest election.
So this is the quiet before the storm, so to speak.
The election in November will.
She's lit all night.
And we'll have a large number of voters, and yes, it will be busy.
What does it look like? Can you see the browser when you're watching it and all that kind of stuff?
How long have you
Internet's not great out here, so I wondered how it looked.
Oh my goodness! I've been the chairman for.
Yeah, watch it. You watch it on this. Yeah.
For a decade of knowing.
I thought it would be kind of cool.
Plus, I was also served a couple of years back in the 90s, early 90s on the election.
I just thought it was.
How do you think it's going to go?
Kind of cool that I could.
What percentage of voter turnout?
Pull up the.
It's not going to be 4 or 5%
website with the numbers and people could see
I
it
think
while
it'll be a
stuff's
big,
going
big
on.
turnout. I think there'll be a lot of election. There's a lot of intense feelings, which will drive people out to the polls. I think that we'll try to be ready for it. And
on the weather night or whatever.
Very high early vote totals. So that means on election day we don't have such massive crowds.
We're trying to grow it to the point where when we finally get into the new building, it'll be much easier to do. And that kind of
no waiting, no nothing. It was very calm and go in and cast your vote and go.
Talked to Darren Gore on Action Line. I did the Action Line this week.
Should we hope that it changes?
He's the new city manager.
Is it sometimes a blessing?
Part of the problem has been the funding.
Not knowing who they're voting for.
Because there are 3 different pieces: the radio station and the apartments.
Now, I like to see
across the street, where the condos are going, which is where we are now, and the hotel, which is going where the water department is.
Research on the candidates, where they stand, what they're
they're almost. Fire is already out of the old city hall, and they'll be gone soon. They're going to Robert Rose water department.
Help get some more information. That's not your job here.
Having it funded, all 3 of those projects, they're having a problem getting the hotel financed.
That sort of thing.
But if they break them up and have 1 and 2 and then 3 separately financed, they can do it.
So we're very careful not to take sides on
I wouldn't dare take sides.
Well, the way they're going to, the way they're trying to get bank financing, they're going to have to change it, which has been the delay. He said October to November they might start, is what he's thinking.
That are enabling their community to come out and vote at any vote sitter, not a precinct, but a vote sitter.
I think that's about right. I'm not sure the exact number. Rutherford County led that effort.
That seems to be the issue right now. But all they've got to do is they've got to amend what they passed in city council to allow them to do that because of the TIF and all that mess.
Grand idea, and I've not talked to anybody who has anything good to say about it. It's very convenient to go vote on election day.
That empty lot right across the street.
Like early voting every time.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I can't imagine why only
they'll build our building
said
first and get us in it, and then they'll build the apartments around while we're in there.
You've got to have a good internet system, so the communication system.
Well, they have to, so they can do the other. And we're the only thing in their way. Everything else is gone.
We check to see if the voters registered and stuff like that.
Well, and
we don't need to be flying the orange.
The voting itself cannot be hacked.
Right. Well, and it's not as easy as just building an office building too. You got to wire it the right way, and
they may not have the infrastructure to
right.
do early voting.
We've got a good engineer
in some cities,
now who.
Some politicians.
Not that we had a bad one before, but he actually has built. There's a radio group in Cookeville that's got about 5 stations, and he was over that and was over the Dave Ramsey build.
So many counties, Tennessee.
He knows what needs to be in there and all. So no.
So Rutherford County is just fortunate. That we have
or
people
Scott.
who are leaders and think ahead.
We are. Rutherford County runs
So I'm hoping.
We'll just have an elevator in it, boss. If you don't mind, if I could have an elevator.
So
people who think ahead.
I heard one time that the elevator would be after we were in it and when they started building the apartments.
Your father.
But we also have to have a place to put our satellite dish on the roof.
How long ago was
so the thinking now is they're going to build the elevator as well.
Now that you said the year.
Just because
that's been a while.
Gets closer every time.
I think I can still remember back then, but he was married and he had vision. He had vision.
So
started to bring
right.
It's
that was kind of part of what we had to have happen.
And he brought from all over. And,
several times I've been out here and I haven't seen anybody here.
But it brought a lot of money with it.
Is that it?
He was standard of living for people.
100%.
I remember
Great night.
Can you get me one of those?
He was a pilot also, wasn't he?
He was, and he
Thank
would
you.
get
Thank
in
you,
his
Alan.
airplane and go flying around, and he from the air could see where
So you got
roads might well
Yep.
be built, because you could see from the air, but you couldn't see from the ground.
Stevens
And
Road,
he
let's
set
see.
in motion,
There's going to be any surprises.
something that was
I wouldn't
like
think
very,
so.
very
Language
forward
might
thinking.
be.
He incidentally learned his planning. He was a planner for the D-Day invasion, and that's where he went to the first planning school.
Well, I'm glad he did that, and I'm glad that he came on to Murfreesboro.
Williams
because
1589
rather
and
Ransomville,
Johnson 1446.
has done so much in creating the city we enjoy. One of those benefits would be Memorial, and I guess ultimately Old Fort Parkway, which wasn't even
10.5%
All
voter
those
turnout.
things, the county of the plans, they've been important.
How is it? What does that do for you as you drive down Memorial? Do you ever think of your dad
Yeah.
and things?
But this is
Well,
this
I
is the
do.
final one.
There's been so much though that's been done since then. I'm no spring chicken.
I thought you were.
No.
They may kick us out before.
And I have
since
seen
I've got them
so
all. So he
much.
ran up here and very happy. They might get out of here before 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw a couple of girls with their stuff. I think they're ready to go home.
You're right out there to Rockville, anywhere else, Last Castles, and it's development.
I don't think he's brought them yet.
The infrastructure that we have is well planned, but we need some more.
Oh, we definitely need some more now because we didn't have the traffic as much back when he was here. We didn't have cars that many.
It seemed to me that back then the county population was at the most, maybe less than that. And now it's what, 360,000 or so, and growing rapidly.
I know when WGNS came on the air in 1947, the city limits were supposedly about 2.5 square miles. We're not talking much beyond the square.
It's amazing. And one only needs to go out and ride around in the county to see just how much development is taking place. And here at the Election Commission, on a quarterly basis, we go through all new registers. We're required to do that. And we thumb through them just because it's regulation. So we do that. And to see
I'm doing the Ransom Jones
where
one now,
people
but
come from. It's all over the country. They come from California, they come from Chicago,
Is he running
they come from Florida. Now, why Florida? I don't know.
yeah, they're a little low, but it's
Tired
okay.
of the weather. It's too hot down there, so they come up
I
here where
just
it's
can't
cool.
turn it up enough, but I mean,
they
they're
come from
okay.
everywhere.
Can you
I'll have
blame
to
them?
give this last one here, though.
No. But yeah, some of them I just think stay home.
Well, thank you for all that you and your family
You
continue
too,
to
thank
do
you.
for the community. Thank you for taking time to share some of your thoughts here during this election coverage.
It's nice talking to you. It really is.
Great to
Thank
talk
you
with
very much, Bart. And you know
Ransom
what?
Jones
It's
visiting with us this evening here at the
8:50,
Election
and we
Commission.
have
We'll
the
have
totals.
more
We have
results in
30 of
just a
30
moment,
vote centers.
And we'll switch it over to Brian.
Early voting.
Thank you very
and
much,
absentee.
Bart. And
so
you
why
know
don't
what?
we get
It's
to it right this moment?
8:50, and we have the totals. We have 30 of 30 vote centers, early voting, and absentee. So why don't
we are
get
going to
to
give
it
a
right
quick
this
scan
moment?
of the big races and then go back over everything after a quick break, okay? And that's going to be watching on Big TV, you'll see as I give you the numbers.
So we are going to
These
give a
are the
quick
final
skim of
numbers
the big
tonight.
races and
By
then
the
go
way,
back over everything after a quick break, okay? And that's how we
10.49%, so
will
about
work this. So if
10.5%
you're
voter
watching on
turnout
Big
in this
GTV, you'll
election.
see as I give you the numbers,
22,588
these are
cast
the
the
final
ballot here in
numbers
this
tonight.
August 1st election.
By the way,
Robert Stevens will remain the District 13 State
10.49%,
House
so about
representative.
10.5% voter
He,
turnout
beat
in this
challenger
election.
Murfreesboro City Councilwoman Jamie
22,588 cast a ballot here in this August 1st election.
Stevens,
Robert Stevens will remain the District 13 State House representative. He beat
Tim Rudd will
challenger
remain the District
Murfreesboro City
34
Councilwoman Jamie
State House
Averwater,
representative.
68% to 31%. Stevens, 2246. Averwater, 1027.
You want to get technical? Tucker
And
Markham,
Tim Rudd will remain the District 34 State House representative. He received 2,196 votes, or 64%, 63.8.
Zone 6.
You want to get technical?
And
Tucker
Williams,
Markham, 1,233, or 35.8%.
Johnson
of of the vote.
Has been a very
going down
close
to
race
the next contested race, and that would be for Road Board Zone 6. And Elaine Williams.
So Elaine Williams had 1,589
Paul
votes
Johnson,
total.
and that has been a very close race throughout the evening.
For Johnson,
and
that is a difference
let me just tell you how close. So Elaine Williams had 1,589 votes total.
From Zone
That's
2,
52%.
taking the place of Coy Young,
and it was 1446 for Johnson. That is a difference of 140
former chairman of the school
votes.
board. Stan
Vaught will be the new school board member
community.
from Zone 2, taking the place of Coy Young, who was a long-time member of the school board, former chairman of the school board. Stan Vaught
or 749
from the Milton
votes,
community,
and a solid
60.85% of the votes, 1,497 votes. He was challenged by Robert Brooks and John Duncan. Brooks with 30.4% for 749 votes, and a solid 200 or 8% for John Duncan.
For fee,
Caleb Tidwell will remain on the Rutherford County School Board. He held off Tiffany Fee, 58.94% for Tidwell, 23.37 for Fee, 34.3%, 1,360.
No new city councilman. All the incumbents
in the
won
race
this
for
evening,
Murfreesboro City Council, and again, these are the final vote tallies that we're getting you here this evening. There will be no new city councilmen. All the incumbents won this evening, holding off Matt Harriman and Kelly Northcutt. Sean Wright was the top vote getter of the evening for those running for City Council. 5,234 votes for Sean Wright. That's 22.6%.
Next, it is Bill Shacklett, 4,701 or 20.32%.
Just over 23,000 votes cast for City Council, by the way. So again, Sean Wright, 22.62%, 52.34%. Next, it is Bill Shacklett, 4,701
trailed
or
Harriman
20.32%.
a good part of the night.
Kurt Wade
as more of the vote centers
came in third,
she took a slight lead and now has taken fourth place,
19.52%.
just out of the top three.
Kelly Northcutt, who trailed Harriman a good part of the night, but as more of the vote centers came in, she took a slight lead and now has taken fourth place, just out of the top three. 4,309 votes for Northcutt, or 18.6% lead, and now has taken fourth place, just out of the top three. 4,309 votes for Northcutt, or 18.6%, 18.3% for Harriman. So that was a very, very close race. All right, one more quick run through of all of the votes when we come back from the Rutherford County Election Commission. I'm Brian Barrett. Stay tuned. We'll have more here and give you a quick wrap-up when we return. Our coverage this evening brought to you by Toots Good Food and Fun, McCabe Vision Center, Wilson Bank and Trust, and Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home.
Hi, this is Wade Hayes of Toots Restaurants, and I'm here with my son Nick and my grandson Jack.
Good food and fun.
Remember your first time at Toots? Maybe it was a first date, you went out with a college friend, or you were celebrating after a big game. Come out and try one of our locations today, and you'll be sure to have a great time.
Toots. Good food and fun.
At Toots Restaurants, our quality has not changed.
Our portions have not changed.
Our products have not changed.
Good food and fun.
Here's Dr. Craig McCabe at McCabe Vision Center.
Tell us what your vision was like before you had the cataract surgery done.
My eyes were just really out of whack, and I do a lot of hand embroidery. I got to the point where I couldn't even do my embroidery.
Are you now able to doing your embroidery?
Oh, yeah, I can go back and do what I was doing 30 years ago.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive behind SunTrust Bank.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank and Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee. As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank and Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
From News Radio WGNS, this is Rutherford County's most complete election coverage. Here's Brian Barrett.
let's take a look at
we
those.
Haven't been back. We thought we would be going back and forth, but we've had so much happen in a quick amount of time here this evening.
United States
so
Senate,
4-2 winners today. So that's good news. There are other winners, so let's take a look at those.
In Rutherford County,
in the local races, we'll start at the top. And for United States Senate, Marsha Blackburn garnered 12,638 votes in Rutherford County over challenger Tress Whitman's 1,791, or 12%
Marsha Blackburn
of the vote.
has
and
89.7%
we're going to give a quick refresh here on the Secretary of State's website here and show you that
it will be Blackburn facing Gloria Johnson statewide.
89.7% statewide lead over Whitman.
And the nearest challenger is only 21%.
That's it. Okay.
And
it will be Blackburn facing Gloria Johnson statewide, as Johnson received 70.24% of the vote. And the nearest challenger is only 21%. And for Rutherford County, let me get back to that tab.
Here in just a second. In Rutherford County, Scott Desjardins, 69.59% of the vote over the closest challenger for United States Congressman, District 4, Thomas Davis,
here in
with
just a second.
2615. That's
Rutherford County, Scott Desjardins, 69.59% of the vote over the closest challenger for United States Congressman, District 4, Thomas Davis, with 2615. That's 1843.
And will face off against Victoria Broderick, who was unopposed.
Statewide,
as we continue to look at the contested races here in Rutherford County for Tennessee State House, District 13, Robert Stevens retains his seat, receiving 68.43% of the vote.
As we continue to look at the contested races here in Rutherford County for Tennessee State House, District 13, Robert Stevens retains his seat, receiving 68.43% of the vote, 2246 to Aber Waters, 1,027.
1233 or 35.82%.
It is District 34, Tim Rudd
of course, in November, you'll have
receiving
Brian Terry and Mike Sparks and Charlie Baum, who ran unopposed. They'll be running against Democrats. We'll look at the Democratic side here in just a second. We'll do it right now.
Of course, in November, you'll have
Brian
Terry and Mike Sparks and Charlie Baum, who ran unopposed. They'll be running against Democrats, and we'll look at the Democratic side here in just a second. We'll do it right now, as a matter of fact, because in Rutherford County for United States Senate, it was Gloria Johnson receiving 70.8% of the vote, 5247. For her, as a matter of fact, here in Rutherford County, Marquita Bradshaw with 22.86. At 16.9 or 1693.
Thank you for that reminder.
The Braves have been here since 1981. WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, your Atlanta Braves station.
6,643.
Thank you for that reminder for a legal ID. We got that in. So Victoria Broderick, for
moving on down
United
to
States
our
House,
District
Race 4 received 6,643 votes.
District 14.
Here in
we
Rutherford
haven't touched
County.
on this
That's 99.36%.
a whole lot tonight, but we have given you a few of those numbers.
Moving
Matt
on
Ferry
down to our contested race
1,742 votes.
Well, let me tell you about State Executive Committeeman, District 14. We haven't touched on this a whole lot tonight, but we have given you a few of those numbers. Matt Ferry received 1,742 votes. At 71%,
for Williams,
and
that's
52%.
Johnson
28% of the vote,
695 at 1446.
Now to our road board, it's Elaine Williams holding off Paul Johnson. 1589 for Williams, that's 52%. Johnson with 47.47% at 1446.
John Duncan 200.
Stan Vaught, School Board Zone 2, 60.85%. He will be
Caleb
the new
Tidwell,
school board member for Zone 2, 1497. Robert Brooks, 749. John
Challenger
Duncan,
Tiffany
200.
Fee, finishing with
So
34.3%,
that was about a 60-30 split
1360.
there. Caleb
And
Tidwell,
for Murfreesboro City Council,
58.94% in
the
Zone
three incumbents
3 for the
running,
school board,
all three
23.37.
won
Challenger
tonight
Tiffany
for the top
Fee,
three vote getters,
finishing with
holding off
34.3%,
two challengers in
1360.
Kelly Northcutt and Matt Harriman.
And for Murfreesboro
It's Sean
City
Wright
Council,
receiving
the
the most
three
votes for City
incumbents
Council,
running, all three
52-34.
ran
That's
or won tonight for the top 3 vote getters,
In
holding
second
off
would be
two challengers
Bill Shacklett,
in Kelly Northcutt
4701.
and Matt
That's
Harriman.
20.32%.
It's Sean Wright, receiving the most
came
votes for
in
City
third
Council,
at
5234.
That is 19.52%.
That's 22.62%. In
Coming
second
in
would
fourth
be Bill Shacklett,
was Kelly
4701. That's
4309, or
20.32%. Kurt Wade came in third at 4517. That is 19.53%. Coming in fourth
in the race
was
for
Kelly Northcutt,
Murfreesboro
4309,
School
or
Board. Well, there were 4, and they were voting for 4, so everybody was a winner tonight. Butch Campbell received the most votes, 6722, or 27.5%.
And in the race for Murfreesboro School Board, well, there were 4, and they were voting
Jeanette
for 4,
Price,
so everybody was a
6170,
winner tonight. Butch Campbell
25.2%.
received the
Jimmy
most
Leo
votes,
Richardson,
6722, or
54.31.
27.5%.
I'm sorry. In third was David Settles, 58.19, or 23.86%.
Jeanette Price,
and Jimmy Leo
6170,
Richardson coming in fourth,
25.2%. Jimmy Leo Richardson, 54.31. I'm sorry. In
And
third
that
was David. Was next Jeanette Price, 6170, 25.2%. Jimmy Leo Richardson, 54.31. I'm sorry. In third was David Settles, 58.19, or 23.86%. And Jimmy Leo Richardson coming in fourth, 54.31, 22.26%. And that is the way it looks tonight. You can get this election summary. There's a link on WGNSradio.com. You can see that right there very easily. So no worries there. And if you want to see all of those numbers that I just gave you, again, you can find them at WGNSradio.com. It's actually still at the top of the page, I think. So if you want to take a look at that there. So that is the race here on this August 1st. Next up will be November 5th. And I guarantee there will be more than 10.5% voter turnout for that one, for sure. Want to thank everybody here at the Rutherford County Election Commission. And thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to get to Coast to Coast AM with our friend George Norrie coming up. Thanks to Wilson Bank and Trust, Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home, Toots Good Food and Fun, and McCabe Vision Center. For Bart Walker, who did lots of interviews tonight, thank him, and I'm Brian Barrett. So long from the Rutherford County Election Commission as we hear from our fine election sponsors, and see you back here November the 5th.
Here's Dr. Craig McCabe at McCabe Vision Center.
We have treatments for the skin of your face. So not only do we want you to see young, we want you to look younger too and get rid of a lot of that sun damage.
Dr. Craig McCabe, the eye doctor you hear on the radio.
Maybe you've got dark spots, acne, rosacea, even wrinkles. We can now treat.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive, just off Memorial, behind SunTrust Bank.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank and Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee. As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank and Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Hello friends, Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home. More than I can count, we have taken care of families who were totally caught off guard with the passing of a loved one. There are so many details to tie up. It really